your friend and navigator. Welcome back to my next video. I think this is like the third series, okay? So welcome back. If you're just watching us, you are welcome. Sit down, relax, and enjoy the lecture. Today, I'll be taking us on a smooth ride. Oh, very smooth ride. And the title of my topic is Mental Capacity Acts. I know you're excited, right? Yes, I'm excited because I'm about to teach you something new. Welcome. So, for my friends, welcome. Please, to my returning subscribers, I want to say you rock and I love you so much. Whoa, I'm so excited. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father. Okay, so this evening, I want to plead with you. Most of you have listened to a series of my videos and you are very selfish with your subscription tap. Just to tap the button, it doesn't take off your eyelashes. It doesn't scrape off your skin. Be nice, okay? Come on, just touch it. It doesn't hurt to touch it. Touch it and turn on the notification button. Leave a comment below, okay? And don't forget to share to your friends. I'm doing the little that I can. I'm not so good, but I'm doing my little bit. And I hope you understand that. All I ask for is your love and your encouragement. And that is enough ticket for me to fly. All right, don't mind me, just kidding. Okay, so to this topic, Mental Capacity Act. What is Mental Capacity Act? I'm going to be answering the question. I'm going to be going in depth. So I'm using one stone for two birds. I will explain what it is and then I will go deep into it so that you get a complete picture of what I am lecturing you tonight. Yeah. So this is the ability to make decisions and understand the consequences of your decision. Ability to make decisions. Understand the consequences of your decision. Please, I'm sorry, my friends. You might be wondering, why am I seeing the shadow? You're seeing the shadow because I cannot turn on the generator. And the person to do that is not on seat. And I don't want that to stop my video. So I had to think of how to strategize just to get this video out today, being the 20th day of April 2022. Hey, yay, yay, yay. Oh, Bella, you played too much. Okay, so mental capacity has to do with taking decisions and then understand the consequences. So if you have taken a decision to put your hands on the gas cooker, you should understand that you will get burns. You're free to take your decision as far as you know that you're gonna get burned. So everyone has a right to take their decision. Everyone has a right to mental capacity until they have been proven otherwise. Okay, so you have to give them the chance to play out their choices, and then when you look at the kinds of choices they make, you can tell if something is not right with him mentally. Okay, so you can't just say someone is mentally derailed because it looks rough. Okay, what if looking rough is his lifestyle? Okay, so you cannot blame him because people have different beliefs, people have different cultures. Maybe in their culture it had to look crazy. Okay, and the crazier the look, maybe they get blessed. How about that? Oh gosh, Bella, stop. You're in front of the camera. Behave. Okay. Now, so let's move on. Everyone has a right until proven otherwise. People are allowed to make their decisions as far as they do not break the law. That is where things goes bonkers. When they break the law. But as far as you're not breaking the law, keep on. You're free. Okay? So people believe that once people are older, they cannot take the decision. That is a myth. It's a wrong belief. You cannot take decisions for older people without their opinion, without carrying them along, or without giving them a chance to be heard. To hear their view. They have to take their decisions, okay, regardless of their age. You cannot lock them down in the house against their wish because they are older. Now think about this. A woman of 70 years got locked up by her granddaughter because she felt she was old. She felt she could just run out of the house and run into the streets and get hurt. No, that's wrong, okay? So as a healthcare assistant, you have to drop that belief like this. You have to drop it like this. Chop. Do not travel to the UK having that belief up here, because people are entitled to their own decision and should be given the chance to take their decision until they have been able to prove you otherwise. Mental Capacity Act was established in the year 2005. The Mental Capacity Act was established in the year 2005, and it states, this act protects the right of any adult to have freedom of making a decision for themselves. Okay? So you have to give them the freedom. Now let's quickly talk about the 5 principles of mental capacity. 5 principles of mental capacity. Number 1, capacity is assumed and not proven as wise. So, capacity is assumed. You have to assume, okay, that okay, he's taking the right decision until he has proven you otherwise. So capacity is assumed and not proven as wise. What I mean there is, you do not conclude that their decision is wise until the circumstances or the effects of their or the consequences of that decision plays out, okay? People should be helped to be able to decide for themselves. So when they cannot take decisions for themselves, you have to encourage them, okay? Help them to take decisions. People are allowed to be unwise. People are allowed to take decisions, even if the decision looks unwise to you. Treat people in their best interest. You have to treat your clients, you have to treat your service user as a king, okay? Use the least restrictive operation, okay? So the least restrictive option, when you're trying to help your service user to take a decision, you have to take that decision that has least restriction, okay? So now let's go to case study number 2. Story. Hey, who's ready for my story? Don't mind me. Okay, now we have a woman, Brenda by name, 92 years old woman. She was strolling down the veranda and she muddled up, left the gas on, and fell off the cliff. Now, she was independent as at the time it happened, would rather die than go to a care home. She doesn't want to go to a care home, but it's obvious that she needs some care, she needs some attention. She has a caring family, a family that cares about her. She has a family that wants to give her the best, and they feel she is sick and not coping. They feel she has dementia, and it's unsafe to leave her alone in the house, considering the accidents she fell off and she left the gas on. Two circumstances that have posed themselves as unsafe. One, the gas was left on. It means she could set the house ablaze with that decision. Number two, she fell off the cliff. What if she landed with her head? She might get injured. So it's unsafe for her to stay at home alone. She doesn't know what is safe for her, and they could not look after her anymore. Her family members could no longer look after her. So they had to sort a residential care right away. Now, what is the next step for them to do? The decision was taken by the family. Should the family decide where she must go? How do we tell her how do we explain to her if she decides or not? What if she decides and she doesn't like the care home? What do we do? How do we explain that to her? Okay, now, before I attend to this case study, I'm going to take you through the Mental Capacity Act. So when I'm done, you will have the right answer here. Okay, you have it. Now, the Mental Capacity Act gives you the access. Okay, now, understand. That is the first. Number two, retain. Number three, weigh. Number four, communicate. She needs to understand what is going on, what is happening to her, and what you intend to do for her. She needs to be able to retain that information on her mind. She needs to be able to retain it, understand what you have in stock for her. She needs to weigh her options. What are the options? If she's left alone, she might get injured. What are her options? That you need to communicate in a language that she will understand, using the right techniques so that she will be able to get the right information. So you see the effort you have to take to help her take the right decision. To assess her capacity, we need to give her the risks and the benefit of going back to her home, or allowing herself to be kept in a care home where she'll be treated and attended to. She must be able to understand. Number one, retain. Number two, retain what? The information. What information? What is happening to her? The consequences if actions are not taken, the right actions are not taken. And then her options. What are her options? Communicates these things to her. If she's able to understand, retain, weigh, and communicate information, then she has the mental capacity. All right, so anyone that can do this has a mental capacity. Now, what was done at the end of the day? She allowed herself to be brought into the care home, and now she was brought into the care home. You see, the decision was not taken on her behalf because her opinion is important. Even if she's elderly, even if she's at the verge of danger, she deserves the right to know what decision you're taking for her. She deserves the right to know what intentions you have for her. And she has the right to be heard, to air her view. Okay? Now, she was taken into the care home, and then she got treated. She got treated. They discovered that after they had conducted some examination and investigation on her situation to determine the causative reasons, it was discovered that she was dehydrated. Okay, now she got treated and she had the capacity. She was able to translate and relate, okay, to her environment and people. Now she was allowed to go back home because she took a decision to go back home. Now, let's quickly sneak at some little expo. Don't tell anyone I'm giving you the expo. All right, tips for success. Number one, we have to remove the barriers. When you want to get the mental capacity, when you want to get someone to give you the right results, you need to take care of all barriers. It could be seeing barriers, it could be hearing barriers, it could be speaking barriers. You need to get rid of all of the barriers by getting them the right ear enabler, getting them the right glasses if they need to read information, and then getting them speaking aids if there's need. Number two, remember that capacity may fluctuate. So sometimes it can be higher and it can be lower. Sometimes the capacity can be correct and other times it may be wrong. Remember that capacity is decision specific. The purpose for that is for us to be able to know what best decision is to be taken. And then if you are in doubt, as a healthcare assistant, you need to seek for help. You have your senior nurses, you have your doctors, and you have your employers. Now, let's go straight to our sneak peek. Okay, you need to understand the situation and weigh your decision. Now, what might be the problem? Why they cannot relate or communicate or understand you? It could be that they have medical problems, so we need to remove the barrier, okay, of the residents so that they will be able to be on the same page with you. Get glasses. If they have short-sightedness, if they have long-sightedness, the care home needs to provide glasses for that resident. If the residents or the patients cannot see clearly, get interpreters. If the resident or the service user rather, does not understand English and speaks Spanish, so you have to get someone who can speak Spanish, so when you speak English, the person can interpret it. Okay, so you see, so many people do things because they may not even understand, and you are taking a decision, a rash decision, because you feel they are not the right person to take that decision. You're wrong. Okay, now get hearing aids if they have hearing deficiencies. Okay, now ask for second opinion. Sometimes you need to ask for second opinion. You have their relatives and you have your superiors, you have the doctors in the care home or within, just to help you with the right information, or you can seek help from them. Decision is specific, and you as a carer, if you're not sure of the decision you're taking or you're suggesting, get help from a superior. If your patients and residents lack capacity, okay, you need to get help. Now, if despite all your efforts, patients lack capacity, get best interests. Now, what is the best interest for the patients? One, involve the patient and his or her relatives. Two, get least restrictive option. Number three, get previous wishes. Okay, think about the previous wishes. Now, in emergency cases, you have to treat the patient as a best option. But in a non-emergency situation, conduct a best interest meeting. Best interest meeting, which will involve the senior care, the relatives, and even your employer, as the case may be. Sometimes the best way to handle patients in this category is deprivation of liberty safeguards. When we talk about the privation of liberty, we're talking about putting that person in 24 hours care with continuous supervision, not free to have, okay? Not free to have, like you can't have matchstick to light the gas cooker, okay? Now, you have to put them, make sure they are supervised. You need to check on them from time to time, minutes to minutes, to see what they are doing, so that they do not hurt themselves. Sometimes you have to make use of dolls, like toys. Maybe you have a doll, okay? Let's assume this is our doll. Sorry, I had to make use of my powder, sorry. And now you want to interpret heat or fall. Maybe you can use something like, is it the soft or the soft? So with that, the patient or the service user can communicate and relate some things that's happening in here, up here with you. Okay, so make sure that this is lawful. Whatever decisions you're taking, make sure it is lawful. Now, it has to last for a period of 12 months. But you see, you do not take all of that decision. Remember, you have superiors, okay? And this event can be reviewed. Now, let us quickly move to, let's talk about the special circumstances. There are circumstances that we handle different from, the other patients we handle under the deprivation of liberty, okay? Like depriving them from 100% liberty to do certain things within the care home. If the patient lacks capacity but has the right to an attorney or health and welfare. So there are some cases where the service user have rights to an attorney, okay, attorney to health and welfare. So lasting power of attorney for health and welfare, there must be in place. That must be in place before he gets the liberty. So before he's free to do certain things, there has to be an involvement of an attorney. Next, advance decision to refuse treatments, okay, and that has to be endorsed by the law. On befriended people, independent mental capacity, or even advocate, INCA. So there are cases where you are supposed to allow the service user, to bring in his attorney, or it depends on how the organization functions. Now, an independent advocate can represent the patient, okay, in the case where he lacks mental capacity. So when there is an attorney, he can take decision on behalf of the client. All right, so you see, you don't take the decision on behalf of the client. Quickly, let's talk about the 5 principles to Mental Capacity Act. 5 principles, just 5. I'm going to talk about 5 because of our time, and I don't really want this lecture to go beyond 30 minutes. Capacity is assumed until proven otherwise. That is a principle. So you assume the person is taking the right decision until he has, the circumstances or the feedback signals to you that that decision was wrong. Okay? People must be helped to be able to take a decision. So you need to help them with the right questions, with the right summarization, with the right interpretation, using hearing aids if they have hearing deficiency, glasses if they cannot see clearly, someone to interpret if they cannot interpret. You can even use the help of a relative, someone they can relate to, okay? People are allowed to be unwise decisors. Like, people are allowed to take unwise decisions as far as they are not breaking the law. They are taking these decisions on their behalf, but as far as they are not breaking the law. Now, treat in the best interest if the decision must be taken on the patient's behalf. You have to treat every decision on the patient's or the service user's interest, best interest, okay? But you see, as a carer, you should not be too quick to take the decision alone. You have your superiors. You should always report to them when there are situations beyond you. Choose least descriptive restrictive option when taking decision on patient's best interest. So you have to take a decision that has least this restriction when you're helping the patient. 4 steps to capacity assessment. Let me be quick. Patients must be able to understand. Make sure they understand. Patients must be able to retain this information. Patients must be able to weigh that information, weigh their options. Patients must be able to communicate a decision. If the patient cannot communicate a decision to you, something is wrong. All right. So that is where you bring in all of these factors. Okay. So thank you very much. I want to appreciate you for being patient enough to listen to me. And my next video, I will be talking about an important topic: moving and handling of people, service users, and things, loads in a care home. Thank you very much for being my student or listener, my viewer or audience. I appreciate it.